Welcome back to Undercover. We're here with Brian McFadden, who's just released his second album, Set in Stone. Now, after several albums in Westlife, then you went solo.
Yeah.
How differently do you approach a solo album compared to one you're making in a group?
I think making a Westlife album is completely different. There's obviously we didn't write the songs. We did write some, but the general process of the writing was done by other writers, and the production and pretty much the whole creativity side, except for the vocaling, is done by other people. Because, and to be honest, it's mainly a time issue because we were on tour and we made an album every year, so we didn't have time to kind of sit down and make write our own songs and stuff. Whereas my own record takes 2.5 years pretty much because I have to write it myself and a lot of work goes into it. So it's two different things. They're both enjoyable in different ways. And the Westlife way was great because it was quick and you kind of get to go out and do new songs all the time. But doing it this way is fun as well because at the end you feel a bit like you've achieved something and it's kind of cool.
You don't have to write your own songs, though. You're choosing to write.
I choose to write my own songs. And probably because no one else wants to write songs for me. No, but both ways are different, but I enjoy both of them for different reasons.
Do you go a bit power mad when you're the one in charge?
I think it's kind of harder when you're on your own because, I think when you're being in Westlife, you have a major label behind you and you've got a lot of people with their say, so there's a lot of people making decisions. But when you're on your own, you don't have anyone to run it by, so you got to take all the pressure yourself. And I suppose then you can make mistakes and there's no one there to say that's a bad idea or that's a good idea. So you're kind of taking a massive risk with everything you do.
Have you ironed out some of the mistakes you made from Irish Sun?
Absolutely. Well, I made Irish Sun in about 3 weeks and I've spent 2.5 years on this one, so I definitely learned a lot from the first record.
Wow. How do you possibly make an album in 3 weeks? A pop album?
It was pretty quick because I had so much to say, and I just went into the studio and I wrote 11 songs, and them 11 songs became the album. I didn't spend any more time, and because when I wrote Real to Me, that went straight to radio and it was kind of taking off all over Europe, so the record company wanted the album straight away. So as soon as I had the 11 songs, I was like, well, I'm pretty happy for that to be the album. They were like, okay, and went from there. Whereas this time it didn't happen so fast. I was kind of sitting there after 3 weeks going, I got like one song. What's going on?
But it's one really good song.
That's it. No, but so it works at that. I think you just work in phases, and obviously I spent a lot longer making this record, probably because I wasn't in a rush. I think I'd left Westlife after my first record and I've been sitting at home doing nothing, and I think maybe I rushed it because I panicked. Even though when you listen to it now, I still don't think I would have changed much to the record, because that's what it was at the time and that's where my head was, and lyrically definitely wouldn't have changed anything. But I think this time there was a lot of confusion making this second record for me because I didn't know where my head was, or I didn't really know yet what kind of a sound that I wanted to have for this record, or what I wanted to sing about. So it took a long time to be really comfortable with what I wanted to do.
You were quoted as saying that you really took the piss with Sony BMG when you were negotiating your solo contract. Were you shocked when the record didn't sell as well as what you hoped? I mean, it still sold 800,000.
I wasn't shocked.
A lot of people would be.
I wasn't shocked. There was never a shock in it. I think I was disappointed with how it ended up, but that's the way it was supposed to be. I think where I was as a solo artist after I left Westlife was a completely different place to where I am now, and I think my attitude was different. My whole vibe as an artist was different. So it's probably a good thing that it didn't happen, because I would have had to continue that sound and that kind of being a wanker attitude, because I don't know, I didn't do it on purpose, but I just had that everything that was surrounding me at the time had that kind of an arrogant attitude, and I'm kind of glad it didn't work now, because at least now this record is a lot more true to me, and it's because I am pop at the end of the day. I think I might have been trying a little too hard to be something very different from what Westlife was on my first record, whereas this one I'm just some of these songs could be done by Westlife. I think it's just a bit more what I am naturally.
Yeah. And so with all those demands and sort of trying to be something else, was it, I hope you don't mind me asking this, but was it an ego thing?
All ego, of course it is. When you spend 7-8 years in a band like Westlife, and you're sharing the attention with people, and everything's kind of about the band, and all of a sudden you're getting all this attention on your on your own, it does go to your head. And I wasn't too arrogant, but it was just I felt a bit overconfident, I think was more the word. I think I had because of how well the first single done. When the first single was #1 everywhere, I was excited and thinking, this is how it's going to be. And I think I never gave myself a long enough break after Westlife that if I had started it a year or 2 years later, I probably would have had a different approach to it. But I was still angry after leaving Westlife because I was tired, and I'd been working pretty much for 7 or 8 years straight with Westlife, and all of a sudden, pretty much a couple of months into the record being released, I was already kind of hating myself as much as not that I hated Westlife when I left, but I had this anger towards work. I didn't want to work anymore because it was so much work, and all of a sudden I throw myself back into it, and I was doing it all by myself, and I just had this kind of a angry approach to everything. Was
it the work, or was it the type of work? The fact that there was work, or the type of work?
Just work. I think everyone's the same. You just get, you get to a stage where all of a sudden you just get pissed off with doing the same thing every day, and all of a sudden I'd throw myself back in as a solo artist doing all that again. So I probably didn't give myself enough time to prepare for a solo career, and that's probably another reason why my first record didn't work so well.
Yeah. Oh well, but not to say that this one's not going to.
No, this one's going to work because it's like the tortoise and the hare.
Oh, hopefully. Which one's the tortoise and which one's the hare?
We'll find out. I'll answer that after the album comes out.
One track that really stood out to me on Set in Stone was Alice in Wonderland, which is very much a club-inspired sound. Where did that come from?
Well, we kind of finished the production and made it sound like that. The original demo was a little bit more kind of 70s club. It was a bit more that kind of a live Bee Gees kind of a sound. And again, it was just another one of the songs on the record. I wanted every song to sound different, and the day I wrote that, I was obviously just in that kind of a mood where I wanted something a bit more four on the floor and a bit more dancey, because I was kind of sick of going to nightclubs and always wondering, I'd love to get one of my songs played in here. So I think that was my attempt to have a song played in a disco.
Yeah, as it worked.
Probably never will be, but at least I can play it at my own party and not feel ashamed. Because that was the one thing as well about, and with Westlife songs on my first album and most of the stuff I've ever done, if you're at home having a party, I could never really play it, along with other pop songs to kind of keep a party going, because there was always a more slower, vibe from Westlife. And from my first album, they wouldn't exactly be party songs unless it was a quiet dinner party.
Yeah.
So finally I have one song that actually fits in nicely when I play it at my home, when I'm having a few drinks at home.
I now have this impression of you going into a club, hearing your own song and just sort of jumping there going, that's me.
Yes. I'm waiting for it. As soon as Alice in Wonderland comes out as a single, I'm going to get some crazy dance band to do a remix of it, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to go to every club in Australia till I finally hear it on the radio. And in the club. And I will probably have a T-shirt on that says, "This is me." Yes, on the back then, yes, this is me.
You're going to have several of those T-shirts made up.
Because I'm probably going to get stinky, because if I don't, I'll probably go to the wrong clubs. I know me, I'll go to like an acid dance club or something. It's never going to happen.
Or a rock club.
I could always just go to karaoke and request it.
That
might work.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, of course I have.
Have you really?
Many a time.
Gone to karaoke and sung your own songs?
Yeah, we did it in Asia once, where we all kind of went out in disguises and, not disguise, but we were kind of wearing caps and stuff like that, and we went into a karaoke bar, and one or two of us got up and sang a Westlife song, and people were kind of double taking, going, nah, there's obviously these English lookalikes or something like that.
Yeah,
but that is fun to do that. Delta's done it as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Delta's done it and sang our own songs.
Someone said, "You sound like Delta Goodrum, only better." We were like, cheers.
Well, that's something. At least I was saying it to her and not you.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying you're shit either way.
Yeah, exactly. The first single in Australia is Like Only a Woman Can, which was actually released in Ireland a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's a new version. Being released here.
The other version, Steve Mack produced, who did all the Westlife stuff, and it was fine. It was just a different version. I think the version he did wouldn't really fit with my new album, because it's just a different style. It's not much different, It's just I think the other version's got a more of an, even though this song is very AC and very middle of the road sounding, that one's even more. It's very has kind of organs on it and stuff. So we tried to pop it up a little bit. It still sounds AC, but it's that kind of a song. I wrote it and I've always sang it and always performed it on acoustic guitar, and it's very hard to get an acoustic guitar song to sound pop. Unless you can put a big dance remix or something on it. But I'm happy with how it turned out, and of course it was great that it went to number one in Ireland, and it was just the start. That was pretty much the start of this record.
So was that song always going to be on the new record?
From the day I wrote it, it's always been, as far as I can say, the keeper, the one song that I will definitely have on the next record.
Yeah, and you've said that song is about Delta. Did she ever get
Well,
sick?
I actually never sat there and said this song is about Delta.
Really?
People just kind of obviously figured that. Well, I wrote the song when I was with her.
The quote
lyrics
I read,
make sense.
the quote I read, and please don't ask me to tell me where I read this because I've looked at so many quotes from you today. But the quote I read was from you saying this is about Delta.
I know now I do. I say yes. This.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah, but there's a yes in front of that because it's always a question. I don't go. This is a song I wrote about Delta.
Yeah.
But it is. Of course, I wrote about Delta. No, but yeah, I'm just saying when I come over here, I never actually came and said, "Here's my single. This is the song I wrote about Delta." People just said, "Is this about Delta?" And I say, "Yes, it is." And then I'm reading quotes going, "His love song dedicated to his fiancée," and so, you know, as if I've written it on the single. You know, this is an ode to my love and stuff. You know. It's one of my songs.
Yeah.
Of course, it's inspired by her, but I didn't come over with a note on the front saying, "This is for Delta."
Do you ever sing songs that were inspired by past lovers?
No, I haven't. I've got one on my album that's not inspired by a past lover, but it's definitely inspired by my past. It's called Room to Breathe. Not about a lover, that's just about my past.
Yeah, right.
People from my past will hear it and get it, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. Because I certainly do.
So you're not actually, you know, putting anyone down or anything?
No, well, I am, but no one in particular.
Yeah.
People can take from it what they want.
Yeah, right.
But I know there's a couple of people who will probably be interested to hear it.
What's it like when you're putting yourself out there? You know, you're kind of doing it in a subtle way. Yeah,
not really. It's just, you know, at the end of the day, I think from the years and years of being in Westlife and everything I've had with the press in the UK and everything, I think, you know, my life's pretty much always been out there. So there's no point in trying to be all, you know, cool and say, oh, I'm keeping this to myself. I keep as much of my personal life to myself as I can, but you know, I'm not going to start changing the way I write songs because that's the reason I'm here in the first place. If I do that, I'm going to start writing songs that probably won't be as good because I can't write lyrics unless it actually means something. I'm not into writing kind of fictional songs that just mean nothing. They have to have some kind of a meaning to me or I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is. I don't sit down and write lyrics and go, right, what rhymes with that, what fits with that. For me, it has to be a story and I have to know what's going to happen because I can't start a song and go, how is this going to end? I already need to know how it's going to end in my real life for me to finish a song. So, you know, I could probably, you know, close myself off a little bit and not give as much, but if I do that, I think the quality of my songs will probably suffer for it. So, I think music's more important to me than that.
And you actually, even though you are now writing your own songs, you're still working with songwriters
yeah, absolutely.
as well.
For me, honestly, the reason why I work and I always collaborate with people is because I just have no patience. I'll always write a song and you know, after about half an hour of writing it, I just get so bored and I move on. So what I did most for this record, most of the time what I'd done was I'd write, you know, a couple of verses and a couple of choruses and then just put them away. And when I'd go then co-write with some people, I'd just bring them to the table and we'd finish them off because the one thing I'm terrible at is finishing a song. I just have no patience. And any song that I have finished by myself will always start great, have a great chorus, then it'll just start to fall asleep because you can literally hear my work dying in it because I just get bored.
So you've got to write a song in about 3 minutes, otherwise...
Most of the best ones most of the songs in this album were written in less than half an hour because... And the original idea 5 minutes. I literally I get an idea, right, that's great, and I'll do that with someone else because I don't have the passion to sit there and completely finish the song from start to finish. I enjoy collaborating with people as well because it just brings something extra to it, and you know, it's a nice feeling. I think people who write songs on their own, it doesn't appeal to me. It's just sitting there writing it. I couldn't do a whole album by myself. I'd find it quite empty. I'd find it an empty feeling. There's a nice feeling about sharing music with someone, especially when you're creating. So yeah, I think I'll always collaborate.
So, and there's obviously a fine line between collaborating with people and letting other people take over.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I've never let anyone do. I have done it. I've written with people, especially in America, and you know, they try and take control and they say, no, we want the song should go this way, and normally I'll write with them for 45 minutes and I'll leave. Not rudely, I'll just say this isn't, you know, it's not going to work like this. Because for me, it's I like to have, as I say to you, the basic song kind of, you know, half written and then finish the song together. I'm not really into letting someone else come with an idea and say we should write a song like this, blah blah blah. It normally has to be something I've already started because I just you know, I when I sing a song that works like that, it never works for me because I always feel that the direction they're going, I can't jump on board with that because it always has to go in my head. Because if I'm going to sing it, it has to be where I want to go. Yeah.
Has anyone ever come up with a new idea and you've gone, wow, that's great, and then gone out and sung it as though it was your own?
Not on my record, not on my album, no. Some of the stuff with Delta, yeah, definitely. When we wrote her album, she came up with some great ideas and but me and her is a little bit different though as well because we can actually jump on board with each other's ideas because we know where the person wants to go. And yeah, she's probably the only person in the world that I can write with, that have that connection with, where I would let her start an idea and vice versa, because we both know that the idea, if it's for that person, that, you know, we're already on the same page.
Yeah.
So she's the only person that I would let take over.
So have you started writing a song before and then gone, actually, no, maybe this would be better for Delta?
We've actually done it on both of our records. With there's 2 songs. You Will Only Break My Heart, which is Delta's new single. That was actually, we started that from my album, and there was a song on her album called Forgive Me Twice, and literally we were at the kind of end stage of writing both of them. You know, one was for me, one was for her, and we decided in the end to switch them over. So she ended up doing Only Break My Heart, and I did Forgive Me Twice.
Yeah.
Because and it was as simple as that. We got there, and it was the lyric. It was, you know, I think a boy singing "You Will Only Break My Heart" sounds a bit weak, and as well, it was when we write together as well. She's the only person I can write fictional songs with, because we have a bit of fun about it. So that was one of those songs, and yeah, we just felt that'd be better with a girl singing "You Will Only Break My Heart." And with "Forgive Me Twice," it was about a guy cheating twice, so it didn't really make sense to her singing it either. So we kind of switched around.
Yeah, right. And now I see what you're seeing here. It's you just get to double your song bank.
That's the only reason we're only with each other, for the money. That's it. Yeah, No, it's great, and that's, you know, it's just another connection we have, and that's why we've got a great relationship, because we can actually work together and work in perfect harmony.
Yeah.
You know.
Has Delta ever had a hairdresser on £100,000 retainer?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I'm sure she will.
But
soon.
Is that true?
Yeah, but you know, it's not that's what I wanted. The guy was the Westlife hairdresser.
Yeah.
And his wages, the guy, he's like £1,000 sterling a day.
Yeah.
So, you know, it actually saved them money by doing that, because I worked for nearly 12 months straight, where I was working pretty much every day. So I actually saved them a lot of money. So it is true, I did have him on £100,000 retainer, but
wow.
He does cost £1,000 a day to do hair, and he worked with me and Westlife from day one. So they've already spent, you know, a lot more than that on him. But of course, you read it in the newspaper, it looks like, oh my god. But
yeah,
you know, at the time he was my friend as well. So I wanted to have him on the road with me, because he was there from the very, very beginning. He was a big supporter of me, and you know, he listens to my songs when I write them, and gives me comments, and he's a good ear for me to have as well as a musician. So yeah, I wanted him on the road, and that's what the deal was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they weren't too happy to have to do it, because they'd rather, you know, having a solo artist getting someone cheap. But that was it. It's not a big deal, really.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not in any place to talk about a hairdresser when you're.
Well, obviously, I don't have one anymore. Yeah, he's long gone.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, thank you so much for coming in.
Cheers.
Thanks.